patrol over 440 square miles, and we provide service to over 365,000 residents. Well, the 4 projects that we have in this referendum are 4 standalone police stations, which are specifically designed for police operations. And they will be strategically located throughout the county to maximize the efficiency of our workforce and to ensure that the officers who are coming to the aid of the public are able to do so with minimal disruptions from a logistical standpoint. One of the things that we want to do as we design these stations and we build them throughout the county is we want to make sure that there are a couple of features that are common. One is that they're readily accessible to the public and that they're easily viewable. A lot of our stations now, I'm thinking of one that's an old barbecue restaurant, is off the beaten path. It's on a side street. It's off Midlothian Turnpike, and there's a little sign that says police with an arrow, and you have to go down the street to find our station. We believe that we should be omnipresent. People in our community should know that if they need to find the police department, they can easily find the police department. And of course, we want those who are maybe considering making a bad choice to recognize that we're around, right? And we can't do that from side streets. So the Chester station is probably the nicest of our stations right now. It's off of Route 10, but it is got some serious issues in terms of ingress and egress. Again, it's a converted office building, but it is right next to Chick-fil-A, and I think anybody who's ever driven by the Chick-fil-A can recognize that, you know, if we have officers in the station that need to get out and provide assistance, they're going to be tied up, and frequently are, caught up in the Chick-fil-A line. Western Hall Street is serviced by a substation that rented in a strip mall, and there are a number of reasons why that's problematic. One, its size. 2, the fact that it doesn't provide any security for operations whatsoever. And again, it is, while it is on Hall Street, it is still off the beaten path, and it is not up front and present, so that if you're driving down the road, you could stop into your police department if you needed it. We want to be, as community policing officers, we want to be readily accessible to the public. And so forward-facing, easily accessible buildings, I think, are an important feature of where we want to go as a police department. One of the things that we recognize as we look to the next 30 or 40 years, which is what these buildings are designed for, is our western expansion and population growth. We know that we will continue to grow out west, and so police service needs will increase out west as well. It's the last thing on our agenda, but it is on our agenda for a reason, because we recognize that in the future we will need a presence out there, more of a presence out there. So we're looking to build a station out there that reflects the growth of our community. We also have to consider the reality that right now, every month, we're paying rent to someone else for their use of their building not designed for law enforcement purposes. The total estimated price tag for all 4 buildings is about $45 million. We're ready to get started on the first station almost immediately, which would be the Falling Creek Station. That is the busiest district in the county, and is the one that we've prioritized because it is where we have the most need from our community. And then we plan on deploying stations, every year for the next 4 years after that. I think the last 2 stations are scheduled for 27, 28. We're being recognized both nationally and internationally for best practices in policing, and we're very proud of that. But one area that has really lagged behind is our infrastructure and the buildings from which our people are being deployed. What we're doing is we're bringing this agency and this county into this century in terms of the equipment that we're providing for our staff, and we're making sure that our staff have everything they need to provide top tier service to our community.
The Ettrick Fire and EMS Station and the Chester Fire and EMS Station are both replacement projects. And as such, they both have very similar needs. The Chester Fire and EMS Station serves over 18,000 citizens over an 18 square mile area. This funding will allow for the replacement of an aging fire station that has served the Chester community for over 60 years. In today's modern fire service, we have career staff that is in there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And so they have to live in the station, and the stations were not initially constructed for a live-in type crew. The dormitory space is very limited, and it also is not very conducive for a diverse workforce. Other issues that we're having as far as the station is the modern fire apparatus that is being manufactured today is larger, taller, wider, longer than what it used to be back when the station was designed and initially built. So it's very tight to put the apparatus in the buildings. The other issue that's going on is there's more services that are being delivered from that building than when it was first initially built. We now have a 24-hour ambulance that runs out of the building in addition to a 24-hour ambulance crew. And the building just wasn't designed to be able to accommodate the number of vehicles and the storage and the personnel that are needed to operate those services. It's really an issue of being able to right-size the building to be able to accommodate the service that's being performed out of there. It will support a more diverse workforce, the modern fire equipment, and enable us to deliver emergency services well into the future. The replacement is estimated to cost $12.3 million. The Ettrick Fire and EMS station serves anywhere from 7,500 to 13,000 citizens in a year, depending on if the university is in session, and it covers an 8 square mile area in the southern part of Chesterfield County. The funding for the Ettrick Fire and EMS station is going to allow for the replacement of that aging fire station. That station has been providing service to the Ettrick community for over 92 years. When that building was constructed, fire service was delivered in a different way. Some of the issues we run into, the dormitory space and the locker rooms, even the bathroom facilities, they just aren't adequate to support a diverse workforce that we have. This project, in addition, will address the right sizing of the facility to accommodate the modern fire apparatus that we have today. There are more services being delivered out of this station and a larger staff or workforce that's delivering the service than what the building was originally designed to accommodate. So this project will right-size the building for the service that we need to deliver. The project's anticipated to begin somewhere in fiscal year 2025. The replacement is estimated to cost $12.3 million. The Clover Hill and Dutch Gap Fire and EMS station projects are very similar. They are both considered renovation and expansion projects. The Clover Hill Fire and EMS station is serving approximately 23,000 residents, and it has over a 14 square mile service area. This funding for the Clover Hill Fire and EMS station will allow for the renovation and expansion of an aging fire station that served the Clover Hill and Western Chesterfield area for 43 years. The building was not necessarily designed as well to accommodate a diverse workforce that we have today. The services being provided out of the Clover Hill station today include an engine, a ladder truck, and a medic. And we've also added to that our water rescue team. The building wasn't designed to accommodate everything that is being required to be delivered from that station. The renovations and expansions that we will be constructing will enable us to meet ADA requirements. It will help us better support a diverse workforce and continue to be able to address the growing service demands for the area. Estimated cost for this station project is $9.3 million. This project is anticipated to begin design work in fiscal year 2025. The Dutch Gap Fire and EMS station is serving over 9,000 citizens in a 14 square mile area. The funding that's being requested as part of this referendum for the Dutch Gap Fire and EMS station is to enable us to renovate and expand an aging facility. The particular station in Dutch Gap has been servicing the Route 1 corridor in southern Chesterfield for approximately 40 years. The dormitory space is limited and creates challenges for a diverse workforce. There's been a tremendous amount of services added to that station since we originally built it. The new facility will be designed to meet current ADA requirements. It will support a diverse workforce, and it will enable us to accommodate or to house the modern fire apparatus that is larger than it was at the time the station was built. This project to renovate and expand the Dutch Gap station will cost $8.1 million. We anticipate beginning design for this project in fiscal year 2027.